I just bought a Honda S2000. It's outside. We're going to go out for a little drive in it in a bit. But before we go for a drive in it, I wanted to talk about the value of used cars quickly, because it seems like older used cars have just gone, well, that's even not even the old ones. Used cars in general, prices have gone up, and specifically sports cars. Now, Honda S2000 or Japanese cars in general, I've just been flicking around on eBay. Yeah, if you look at the prices of them, I mean, that one there I just looked at, that's quite cheap. That's actually worth buying, that is. 7.5 grand, looks like it's HPI clear, 77,000 miles, private seller. Might actually give him a ring after this. Then one there, 105,000 miles, 8.5 grand. But generally they skip right up to £10,000, and then from there upwards, there's a Civic Jordan there, somehow in the S2000 section. Cool car as well, that's 10 grand, £10,000. And yeah, basically 10 grand upwards, there's absolutely loads of them. So yeah, they just seem to be flying up in value. Obviously, the more, the better car you get, or the lower mileage car you get, the more the price will be. And then I sort of went back to my system that we use to like manage all of our stock, and I just typed in S2000s just to see what S2000s we've sold in recent times, and I sort of flicked back. Obviously, I blurred out a lot of personal info in here, just so people don't know what I've sold certain cars for. But you can see here, like, certain cars I bought at our car buying shop in Dunstable. This one I bought at our car buying shop at Poplars. This one was bought at the car buying shop in Bletchley, and so on, right? But forget about that. The point being, like, I've never really sold one for any more than £10,000. Like this one here, I sold this car back in 2018 for just over £5,000. Yeah, if whoever's bought that car for just over £5 grand, they've probably doubled their money. If you look at Integra Type R's, something else I was just looking at on eBay as well, I love them cars. If you go back to my system, the last one I sold was just over £7,000, right? And then if you go back to eBay, you ain't even getting an old shape one for £7,000 now. So it just gives you an idea how much these cars are going up. If we go over to the HPI certificate of the one that I've just bought, you see it's all clear, national mileage register's good, free form keepers, which is amazing. But if we flip down to the valuation of this car, yeah, powered by CAP, the valuations here, they're completely wrong. The book values are completely bloody wrong on this car. I know that is based on it having 190,000 miles. Forget about that book value. I wanted to show you this curve here. December 20, January 21, February 21, stayed really stable. And then suddenly in March, which is about when we all sort of come out of lockdown and things started getting back to normal, it's like there's loads of buyers, lots of people want to treat themselves, they want to spend money, they can now go out and drive and sort of free roam, which we ain't been able to do for the last 12 months, and they started buying, and the price has just gone up and up and up since then, and that will continue. And I always say, like, with classic cars, I like to put my money in them because your money's safe in classic cars, but one of the downfalls I would say to classic cars is they're quite slow sellers, they don't fly out. Like, we've got a couple of E46 M3s there at the minute. I always stock E46 M3s, they're bloody good news. They don't sell overnight, but your money is safe in them, especially when things are going up by the month. It doesn't bloody matter. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly show you that because everyone keeps asking me about the values of cars. I think there's loads of contributing factors, like the value of the pound being all over the place. Your money is just generally better off in assets at the minute. The interest rates are really low, so why would you have your money in the bank? You may as well have it in an appreciating asset. And yeah, like lockdown stuff, there's loads of contributing factors, but it's just really interesting to see that the used car market is really good at the minute. So I've obviously just bought the low mileage Evo 8, which is going to auction probably next week by the time this video goes up. Again, it'd be interesting to see what that fetches in auction. I'll try and do a video on that. It's hard to say, it's really, really difficult to say what that thing's worth, but yeah, interesting subject. Let's now get out on the S2000, have a little look at it and go for a drive in it.
Here it is then, 2002 Honda S2000, obviously with a private plate there. A lot of them seem to have private plates, don't they, like symbolising the S2000 name. This car was built to celebrate 50 years of Honda, so it's like quite a special occasion. Obviously they built them for 10 years. This one in particular is the pre-facelift car, an AP1. They facelifted them in 2003, I think. Obviously that's called the AP2. They made loads of changes. I do like the look of the AP1s. They just look really sort of honest and innocent. They've got little 16 19-inch wheels, and I love the grey and red combo. Like, that's one of my favourite combinations of car colours of all time. So they've got a really long bonnet, quite a big feature on this car. I've obviously done loads of content on these cars over the years. I am a big fan. I'm a big fan of Honda, I'm a big fan of Japanese cars, and I'm specifically a big fan of Honda S2000. I bought one of these cars about 10 years ago, back when I was sort of trading in Japanese cars. I think I paid like £4 for it, and had I have kept it for that 10 years, for the duration of that 10 years, it probably wouldn't have dropped a penny, and it would now be worth probably near on double that. So yeah, it's amazing really that you can keep anything for that long and do no money on it. At the back, really aggressive looking thing at the back. They're dark rear lights, twin exhaust at the bottom, and like I say, this car's done 54,000 miles, so it's a really tidy thing. The purpose of this car, which is like nothing else really, is it's just a pure raw driver's car. It was designed around the driver. There's no sort of flashy gimmicks anywhere. It's all just very basic, geniusly basic, I think. Like the stereo controls there, like I've never seen a car with stereo controls like that. It's got a digital dash with a big sweeping rev counter in front of the driver, and the steering wheel angle, like, I know that's a silly thing to suggest, but it sort of sits really flat in front of the driver. The seats, I love the shape of the seats. For someone of my height, I'm about 6'3", it is very cramped in there, but you know what, don't matter too much because you still enjoy the drive of it. It's a 6-speed manual gearbox with an electronically operated roof. It's really basic as well. I'll show you that in a sec when we get inside the car. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, isn't it? Yeah, that's enough to talk about from the inside and the out. I think what we need to do now, go out for a little drive, and I might even attempt some draggy times. Let's go. Bit cramped. Let me just got the mic in my hand. They're all recording, yeah. Just put my seatbelt on, stick the mic on. It's very cramped actually. I wouldn't want to do a long journey in this car, but for today it's lovely. It's even nice to get the roof down. I love a convertible. It's a bit of a contradiction really, having like I explain this, or I describe this car as a raw driver's car, and then they make it as a convertible, but I think it's a really nice thing. So engine start, keys in my pocket. It's not keyless, Cal. Seems a little bit pointless having an engine start button, but you still got to put your key in ignition, but I'm not complaining. Let's turn the immobiliser off. There we go. We have dash lights. Got that nice dash just fired up as well. I just looked at new prices of these. I think in the UK they're about £28,000 new, which is interesting because they're probably going to be not long before they're back up to that level in value sometime soon. So on the interior, it's very basic in here. The glove box, there is no glove box. There is no glove box. The dash is very basic. Got a little tweeter on the door there. Speaker on the bottom of the door. Nothing else really to report. Oh, there you go. There's your glove box. Boot button there. We won't press that. And then here, yeah, you've got a little cubby hole here, and then we've got the draggy box in there as well. So yeah, that's all good. Let me just demonstrate the roof. Like, how many seconds is this? Was that about 5 or 6 seconds? 1, 2, 3, 4. Super quick, super straightforward, and super easy. We've got a Focus ST there, just come in, bright orange one. Some of you might have seen that just in that section of the video there. Quite an interesting car that. I want to make the point that it ain't just Japanese cars that are flying up in value at the minute. Lots of cars, like I said, E46 M3s, lots of just old sports cars. They just seem to be doing really well in value. If it's got an S badge, an RS badge, a Type R badge, a VTEC engine under the bonnet, or just whatever. Generally, the rule of the thumb is if it's old and it's a sports car, the values are going up, all right? So certain ones obviously will go up more than others, but then, but many cars, like obviously the S2000, will just gradually continue to rise. There's the Evo there, look, 2 M3s, 19-inch wheels just shining at me. There's the SL, let's reverse back, so you can see that in front view camera. SL 350 that I done a video on the other day, and in front of that we've got the Clio RS, then the TT, then the RS7. It's all looking very good. And then Magdalena's Porsche is just parked out the front there. Let's hit the road, yeah? So it's a front engine rear drive car. Obviously a lot of you know the crap with these cars. 2-litre VTEC engine under the bonnet, produces just shy of 250 brake horsepower, produces I think just a touch over 150 pounds-feet of torque. So really, really low torque figures. And you do notice that on the lower ends of the rev range. Camera's doing that wobbling thing again. But when the VTEC kicks in, which I'll demonstrate in a minute, it just screams, and yeah, you can feel all the power at the higher end of the rev range. Really high revving engine as well, super reliable of course, because it is Japanese, it is Honda, and generally these VTEC lumps are just all bloody geniusly good. So that's always reassuring. And there you go, here's the VTEC. Really easy thing to drive. It does have a limited slip diff at the rear, not your usual limited slip diff. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but they do really put the power down well, especially on these little wheels with these big chunky tyres. Second gear there, VTEC is screaming. Really easy thing to drive, feels tiny to drive, especially for me. I do feel a bit cramped in here, but you know what? It's an amazing experience. It does feel really, really sort of built around the driver, like I said earlier, even the way the gear changes are just so short, and it just clicks in really nicely. A couple of vans having it out in front of me. Even the way it just clicks into reverse, it's so nice, man. I'll get well out of your way, mate, because I do not want you to scratch. Come on, there's loads of room up here. My mint 54,000 miles Honda S2000. There we go. Thank you very much. Do you know what? Let's not mess around too much more. Let's go do draggy times, yeah? Hold on. Yeah, I ain't about to stick it on the roof. I'll just find somewhere in here. That'll be all right on the seat. Here we go, run one. It revs right up to 9,000 RPM. Oh my God. What an experience. Lovely day. Screaming VTEC under the bonnet. 250 horsepower. Sounds amazing, man. As far as draggy times are concerned, I ain't expecting anything too spectacular with this car. For those that don't know, I'll do 20 to 70 mile an hour. If it starts with a 6, I'll be impressed. It might not though. So we'll do a few runs as ever, and we'll see how well it does. I think I might just quickly stop here, do one right now actually. There we go, we're off. Listen to that VTEC scream. Draggy times. So as expected, it is going to be really low down on the draggy leaderboard. It done 20 to 70 mile an hour in 7.32 seconds. So it's not too impressive at all, but this car gives you a real sort of strange perception of speed. It feels like everywhere you go, especially when you're up in that VTEC rev range, it feels like you're just going bloody lightning fast. Such an exciting thing to drive. But honestly, I don't feel like anyone would drive this car and get out of it thinking, do you know what, that car was slow. It's definitely not a slow car. It's great fun, and yeah, I absolutely love them. Now going back to the values of cars, I don't think you could go too far wrong buying, there's an S2000 there, an AP2, facelift car, chances of that. But yeah, I don't think you could go too far wrong buying any car of this era, as long as you obviously pay the right money for it. I think all of these old sports cars are pretty much a safe bet to buy. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it as that. I know full well there's a lot more I wanted to say. I ain't got a clue what none of it is though. It's all gone completely out of my mind, because I've genuinely enjoyed this drive so much, man. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you did like this video, do me a favour, hit the like button. If you've got any questions, feel free to hit me in the comments below. I'll try and answer as many as I can. Hit subscribe if you're new to my channel for a new video every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. And if you are about next weekend for my car event, I'll put a link for the tickets in the description below. It'd be good to see as many of you there as possible. Once the tickets are sold out, they're gone, that's it, all right? So if you want to get a ticket, get one as soon as possible, all right? Also, if you're on Instagram, give me a follow on Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video, all right? Bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, it's a well-deserved video on my latest purchase, this Mark 7.5 Volkswagen Golf R.